Hey everybody, I have here on me the DJI Osmo Mobile 3. So DJI reached out to me a few days ago and asked me if I wanted to review this gimbal. I said yeah, of course, because DJI is huge. But at the same time, to be honest, I wasn't that excited about it because let's face it, gimbals, they are crucial to behind the scenes production, but they're not the coolest, sexiest gadgets, you know, like they're not that fun. Plus, I already have multiple gimbals on me. I have here the GN Smooth 4 and I have here the Moza Mini S. So you know, between these two gimbals and the GN Crane 2, I've already got all my gimbal needs covered. I didn't think I needed one more. Well, I was wrong because I've been testing the DJI Mobile 3 right here and it's legit. I mean, first of all, look at how small this thing is. I mean, it's pretty amazing. This previously was already considered pretty compact for a smartphone gimbal, and this is still much larger than the DJI Osmo Mobile 3. Conversely, look at the GN Smooth 4. Look at how large this is. Look at the size difference. And when I carry this around, when I go on trips and stuff, I have to bring this with me, like this little case. So check out how big this case is compared to this. Like, look at how much more space it takes up in the suitcase or in the backpack. But that's not all. What makes the DJI Osmo Mobile 3 so special is that this may be the only small gimbal out there that can fully support an iPhone XS with a moment lens. So I have here a moment wide angle lens. If you care about smartphone lenses, you probably have already heard of moment. So they make wide angle lens or anamorphic lens or like macro lenses that you plug into a smartphone. Right now they support, I believe, iPhone, Samsung Galaxy, Google Pixels, and maybe the OnePlus phones. And these are very high quality lenses, at least for a smartphone lens. Obviously they can't compare it to like an actual camera lens, but for smartphone lenses, these are about as high quality as you can get. And as such, they're actually quite heavy. A lot of the clip-on wide-angle lens that you see on Amazon for like 10 bucks are actually pretty light and pretty low quality. This is legit, but at the same time, it really makes an iPhone, even a small iPhone like this one, a little bit too heavy to use on gimbal. So this gimbal, the Moza Mini S, straight up cannot handle this weight. This is just too heavy for the Moza Mini S. Now, on the GN Smooth 4, you can technically handle the weight, but I'll show you a problem. So let me screw this in. Okay, so I forgot to charge this earlier, so there's no power in this, so I can't turn it on. But just take my word for it that the GN Smooth 4 can actually support the iPhone XS with the moment lens. But the problem is, you see the motor is right here, right? So if you're shooting with a wide-angle lens, you know, wide-angle lenses have an extra wide field of vision. So that means if you shoot with a wide-angle lens, you will get part of this motor into the frame. Now, the way to fix this is to simply push this phone a little bit out. Like you push this lens out a little bit more to avoid getting this part. So you have to push the phone out a little bit like this, and then now you should be able to shoot with this without getting this into frame. But now the problem is, now the weight is too heavily on this side. So what I've been doing when I've been shooting with this setup is I've been using rubber bands to hold on to this little small lock right here that's kind of heavy. This is like maybe like a quarter of a pound. So just like that. If I use this as a counterweight and I turn on the gimbal, then it will actually balance. Like obviously this looks very gross. Like I was using this setup at the iPhone launch event last year and it was so embarrassing. I was walking around Apple Park with this thing like dangling off the side of my gimbal. On top of that, this is really stressful on the motor to force a balance. So you know, for the longest time, I figured the moment lens is just too heavy. There's no way I can put the moment lens on an iPhone and still use a small pocketable gimbal for long periods of time. There was just no way, right? Well, I was wrong. This can actually handle it. So let me show you why. So the reason the DJI Osmo Mobile 3 can handle the iPhone XS with a moment lens, it's not because this gimbal has a higher payload. In fact, I'm pretty sure this gimbal can still support more weight, but it's just a really clever design on DJI's part. So this is how the gimbal looks when you're using it. You see the motor? It's on the side. It's not in front of the camera. So now if I put the iPhone XS with the moment lens into the gimbal, so you see now, I don't have to worry about this motor being in front, getting in the way. So I can even push the phone all the way down here for better balance. So I can just kind of keep playing with the position of my phone to balance it. So you see now it's just about balance and the gimbal is not even turned on. I mean, how amazing is that? So if I turn this on by pressing the switch here, so it starts at this portrait orientation, but if I want landscape, I just have to tilt it manually and then now it'll stay in place. I mean, check this out. This is a moment lens right here, which is really heavy, and this tiny gimbal is supporting the moment lens. I even took this outside earlier. I ran up and down and footage looked pretty good. I mean, there is a little bit of micro jitteriness when I'm running full speed, but considering how heavy this setup is and how small this gimbal is, that's pretty damn amazing. This is a game changer for me. For the longest time, I've had to use this clunky setup of using this much larger gimbal with an additional counterweight on the side just to shoot the same setup. So this is a really clever design on Moment's part by simply moving the motor to the side. Now, one problem is you can no longer do what's known as the flashlight shooting mode, meaning, a lot of professional videographers like to do it. They like to put the gimbal like this and just kind of shoot like that. So you can no longer do that with this because the motor's on the side. It actually gets in the way, but you can just do it this way. So now you have to do it kind of like a sideway kind of motion. So since this is a DJI Osmo product, that means the DJI Mimo app that you may be familiar with if you own a DJI Osmo Action or DJI Osmo Pocket. That app works with this gimbal and it offers a lot of features like automatic face tracking. You have to download the app on your phone. I actually don't have it on this iPhone, but I have it on my OnePlus phone. So let me set that up. Shit! Okay, so right now I have the DJI Mimo app running on the OnePlus 7 Pro and I've already paired it with the gimbal. Pairing, it's pretty fast. It just takes like maybe 2-3 minutes, and once you do it once, it'll connect automatically every time. So now I can control the camera app with my gimbal buttons right here. So you see, if I press this button once, it'll switch to a different shooting mode. See, so I can cycle through different shooting modes by pressing this button. I think if I double tap on it, then it switches orientation. You see, now this is portrait. If I want landscape, double tap on it, it automatically switches. And I believe there's another action to use the selfie camera, but I haven't figured it out yet because I'm still pretty new to this. Oh yeah, so anytime you double tap on this trigger, it repositions the gimbal. So it automatically repositions every time. You see, this is pretty intuitive. And now of course you have this little joystick here. If you move the joystick, then you can control the gimbal right here. Let's see if the record button works. Yep, you see I just press this red button and it automatically takes a photo. So let me move to video. I'm gonna hit this red button. Is it recording a video? Yep, it is recording a video. And the OnePlus 7 Pro is a pretty heavy phone, and on top of that I have a pretty thick leather case that wraps around the phone, so this is a pretty bulky setup too. If I'm using something like a Samsung Galaxy S10 with no case or a thinner case, it will definitely be able to handle the weight easily because this is already among the heaviest a smartphone is going to get. And check out, stabilization is good. In fact, I shot some footage yesterday with the OnePlus 7 Pro camera using the DJI Mimo app. Check it out. I think these footage look pretty good. Colors are pretty damn sharp. So of course there's a bunch of other shooting modes within the app too. So from here you can cycle through things like time lapse, panorama, all of that. And the best feature may be auto track. So let me check if this works. So is this tracking me? Let's see. Oh yeah, see, it is tracking my face now, right? So this is pretty cool. So let me put this down. Oh, okay, so I think it lost me. Okay, so that's about it for the DJI Osmo Mobile 3. This is a game changer because previously, if I wanted to shoot with this specific setup, I have to carry this with this counterweight hanging off to the side, and it's just very awkward. Not to mention, this case actually isn't that small. If you put this in a backpack, it's gonna take up my whole backpack. But now, with this, I can just, let me turn this off, fold it out like so. See, everything locks into place and it'll fit into a little pouch like this. As for my iPhone XS and moment lens, I have a little pouch for that too. So now this is all I need to shoot smooth, stabilized 4K videos. I'm really excited, man, because I'm always on the go and I just want to shoot video anywhere. So this is a DJI Osmo Action. Sells for 110 bucks in the US, 758 Hong Kong dollars, which is a little bit cheap actually. So Hong Kong people have a better deal. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching.